story now. The fraud and corruption case against the former chair of Parliament's Correctional Services Portfolio Committee, Vincent Smith, and former Bosasa COO Angelo Aggrizzi has been postponed till the end of May this year. While the bail conditions for Smith remain the same, Agrizzi's have been slightly amended to allow him to report to the Benoni police station as opposed to the Douglasdale police station, and to travel out of Gauteng between the 18th of April and the 7th of May for undisclosed reasons. Our reporter Samkele Maseko has more.
The fraud, corruption and money laundering case against former ANC Member of Parliament Vincent Smith and former African Global Operations Chief Executive Officer Angelo Aggrizzi has been postponed to the 28th of May, and there's a discussion of a separation of the two cases of the two individuals involved in fraud and corruption and money laundering allegedly that happened at Bosasa, now trading as African Global Operations. National Prosecuting Authority and the Investigative Directorate has been pursuing this particular case. Sindisiwe Twala, who speaks for the ID, will further expand on why there's been a postponement on this particular case. Ms. Twala, why has there been a postponement on this particular case?
For starters, it was a variety of reasons. The first one is that we needed to give the interested parties further disclosure of the docket. Additionally, we've also been notified that Angelo Aggrizzi's medical condition, according to his lawyer, has been deteriorating. So we have also requested that by the 28th of May, at the next appearance, that we be notified about how extreme or how serious his medical records are, so that we could possibly, for the constitutional rights of the other accused, to possibly separate the trial.
Why would you want to, can you please expand on the issues of separating the trial? Is it purely on the merits that Angelo Aggrizzi is not well, or it's purely on the matter that you are finalized your investigations when it comes to Vincent Smith and Angelo Aggrizzi it's taking longer due to his ill health?
So I must first put it on the record that all the parties met and decided that if the medical records that we get before the 28th of May of Angelo Aggrizzi state that he's not fit to stand trial for whatever reason, for his medical reasons, then for Vincent Smith's constitutional right to a fair and speedy trial, we will then take that step. But currently today, what was made known to the presiding magistrate Fenter, was that this is still a possibility that the interested parties are exploring or looking into. However, it is solely reliant on what the medical records from the various physicians and doctors working on Agrizzi decide.
Is there negotiations in place to turn Angelo Aggrizzi into a state witness, thus these continuous delays that you are seeing?
That's actually not something that we are considering at this current point. We want this trial to continue as is. The two persons, physical persons, as well as the company that are standing here accused, we want to expedite this trial as quick as possible. So in terms of negotiations with one or the other in order to turn the other state witness is not something that we're actually contemplating at this current juncture. But what we must also mention of what happened in court today is that two bail conditions from Mr. Angelo Aggrizzi were actually amended. This is after the High Court ruled that he ought to report to the Douglasdale police station every Friday from 8 till 6. It's now been amended that he needs to report at the Benoni police station instead. Another amendment, which is quite key, is that he requested from the 18th of April to the 7th of May to leave the Gauteng province, because according to the High Court ruling was that he ought to not leave the province. However, the state did not oppose it because we're furnished with sufficient evidence as to why it is a pressing matter for him to be able to leave.
Why is it a pressing matter for Angelo Aggrizzi to leave the province if you at some point believe that he's a flight risk?
We, as the investigating directorate, got the villa. We got the title deed of the villa. So if he were to decide to leave, whether he leaves the country or decides to flee or do something against his bail conditions, we know that we have a title deed a title deed of his Italian home that we could simply seize. So we know that because of the guarantees that we have of Angelo Aggrizzi, he's not going to decide to leave.
Thank you very much, Ms. Twala. That was Ms. Twala, the spokesperson of the Investigative Directorate in South Africa, saying that there may be a separation of trial between Angelo Aggrizzi and former ANC MP Vincent Smith on the virtue of the deteriorating health, allegedly, of Angelo Aggrizzi, who at some point came to this Palm Ridge Magistrates Court having had medical equipment on him as he was struggling to breathe.